In with me here on a Sunday night. It's been a beautiful weekend, a beautiful holiday weekend. I hope you guys had a good and safe 4th of July. I know I had a nice 4th of July, spent some time with my family, and had my cousin's wedding last night, and my daughter's birthday today. So had a big weekend. Shout out to Kinsey June Polumbus, who turned 10 years old today. She's my little baby girl, my youngest of three. And yeah, it's been a great weekend. I stayed active this weekend, got my workouts in, just got outside. My dog's tired. He just got done with a nice little walk outside. It rained on us, although it was nice to get stuck in the rain. I couldn't tell you the last time I got stuck in the rain on a walk. It was kind of refreshing, actually. All right, so a couple quick hitters for you guys tonight, as I'm sure you guys are all still enjoying your holiday weekend. And I know not too many people are dialed into the sports world right now. There's not a ton going on, although USA was playing Mexico in soccer, if you're into that. Last I checked, I think it was 1-1. Not a fan, not following it. I don't know what's going on. Follow Vic Lombardi. He's live tweeting it. If you're into that, you can go check that out. Okay, so what I want to talk about tonight is a couple things. Training camp's just right around the corner for the Broncos, and it usually starts last week of July, and they've got some business that they really need to get done before training camp begins if they want to avoid some holdout situations. We'll see if any of these guys are willing to hold out, but you've still got four guys that all want a new contract, and they want it before the season begins. So how should the Broncos prioritize these players? The players are Zach Allen, Courtland Sutton, Nick Bonitto, and Jonathan Franklin Meyers. I've got some thoughts there. You obviously can't get them all done, so you got to pick and choose your battles. You got to pick and choose who's most important to you, and I'll let you guys know what I think the Broncos should do, and I'll obviously be curious to get your guys' opinion throughout the show. This is a live show, by the way, so if you were watching, you can send in your comments. If you're watching on Twitter, whether you're watching on YouTube, send in your texts, your comments, and it will show up live on the video, and I will respond to them in real time. If you haven't subscribed to Mount Polumbus Speaks yet, hit that link in my bio on Twitter and go on over to YouTube and hit subscribe real quick. That's where my content lives. Make sure you don't miss out on any of my content. I put out stuff that lives unique to the YouTube platform. So if you enjoy Mount Polumbus Speaks, you'd be doing me a solid, and you do yourself a solid as well by going over there and hitting subscribe. Okay, before we get rolling, as always, I need to take a quick second here to thank my title sponsor, Safeway. Safeway has been my favorite local grocer, serving Colorado families since 1926. From fresh produce to tender cuts of meat, Safeway offers local fruits and vegetables from Colorado farms and serves Colorado Proud Angus beef. We proudly support Colorado farms and local small businesses, from Olathe corn and Rocky Ford melons to Palisade peaches. So know that you support local when you shop at Safeway. Learn more at Safeway.com or shop in store today. I was over at Safeway today, got a fresh little load. My fridge is loaded up, and I got all kinds of food for the next week. So make sure you check out your local Safeway. They've been a tremendous partner in Mount Polumbus Speaks, and they're a fantastic grocery store. Okay, I think I'll actually start with the Nuggets news. I guess I didn't tease that. But if you've been following the Nuggets, you know that the Nuggets made a lot of moves here over the last couple weeks, and they really reinvented the team. It's honestly amazing what the Nuggets were able to do simply by trading Michael Porter Jr., a guy that I honestly thought probably had the most untradeable contract on the team. I was wrong. The new dual-headed monsters of John Wallace and Ben Tenzer, they got a great deal done with Michael Porter Jr., traded him for Cameron Johnson, and that opened up the floodgates for the Nuggets to just continue to make moves. They added guys like Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown is back, fan favorite. Good to have Brucey B back in town. They brought in Tim Hardaway Jr., who's going to be a shooter for the Nuggets and can play that shooting forward spot. shooting guard spot, whatever you want to call it. And then one of the other big deals that they got done was a player-for-player swap and Dario Saric for Jonas Valančiūnas. Now, Jonas is a guy that the Nuggets they've had him on their radar for 2 or 3 years. He's a big boy. I'll pull up his stats here. He's a big boy that is a true backup center. So finally, the Nuggets, in theory, have got a legitimate backup center. So when Nikola Jokic is not on the court, hopefully the Nuggets can survive those minutes. He averaged 10.4 points per game last year and played in 81 games. So he was reliable. He was out there. He was available for basically every game and was a good contributor for the Kings. He was honestly my favorite addition that the Nuggets were able to bring into this team. But shortly after the terms of the trade were agreed to between the Denver Nuggets and the Kings, Jonas made headlines saying that he wants to go over to Greece to continue his basketball career. So he would be one of the first ever NBA players to leave the NBA in the prime of his career, go overseas. He's obviously from overseas. It would make him closer to home. He wants to play for a Greek team. I'm not even trying to pronounce the name of it. It's in the Euro League. But here's the deal. It's not that simple. A lot of fans are panicking right now because he wants to leave. And even if he did leave, even if he did find a way to leave the Denver Nuggets and he went over to Greece, continued his career over there, I would still say that trade was a net positive because you were able to dump off the Dario Saric contract, a guy that literally did not play basketball for you last year, and he was able to opt into his deal. You had no choice about it. Dario opted into it, and so worst case scenario, you were able to just dump off Dario's contract. Now, I'm not overly panicked about this news that Jonas Valančiūnas wants to go over to Greece because he's got to buy himself out of his NBA contract. And the club that he wants to go play for over there in the Euro League, they damn sure don't have the money to buy him out of the Denver Nuggets contract. Jonas signed a 3-year deal worth $30 million that had $20 million fully guaranteed on it. He's got 2025 and 2026 still on that current contract, set to make 10.4 this year and $10 million next year. So he would have to find a way to buy out $20.4 million. Is he gonna pay that money? Is the Greek team gonna pay that money to buy him out of that NBA contract? I would say no. And if I'm Denver, I'm just playing hardball. No, I'm not letting you out of your contract. We traded for you because we want you to be a part of our club. And sorry, tough luck, dude. You're owed $20 million. We're going to pay you $20 million over the next 2 years, but we're only going to pay you that money if you're playing here. And you want to get out of that contract. Good luck. Good luck with it. Because unless you're a psycho and you're going to front that money yourself just so you can go back home and play basketball, it ain't going to happen. So I am not overly concerned with it. From what I've been told, the Nuggets are absolutely intending on forcing his hand that he has to honor his contract to play for the Denver Nuggets, as they should. They made a trade for a big man who will really help out this Denver Nuggets team. And if I'm Jonas, I get it. I understand the appeal of going back home. I think they offered him like a $12 million deal, so he was going to make healthy money playing back overseas. It wouldn't have been the type of money he was going to make here in Denver. But at some point, money always wins out. And so I think the Nuggets are going to be fine. The new Nuggets roster is actually pretty damn sick. Obviously you've got your starters of Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic. And then off the bench, You got Bruce Brown, you got Peyton Watson, you got Jonas, you got Tim Hardaway Jr., Jalen Pickett, whatever combination you want to use there. And then you got Deron Holmes, the forgotten rookie from last year who got hurt and didn't get to play. Deron Holmes can play the 4 spot. He can play the 5 spot. And this Nuggets team, who just 2 weeks ago had absolutely no bench help, they've got a rock solid bench. And the Nuggets should be the lead contenders to win a championship again next year, because that was the only thing that this team was missing, was bench help. So welcome to the club, Jonas. Sorry you want to go back home. Tough luck. You got to make $20 million over the next 2 years. It's a tough life having to play here in Denver making $20 million. I know you're going to be okay, and you're going to help out this Denver Nuggets team. I don't think there's going to be any drama to be had, so we can write that one aside. All right. Moving on over to the Broncos. Broncos start training camp last week of July, and they have got some decisions to make here. Courtland Sutton wanted a new contract last year, and the Broncos did not give him one. They did give him a bump in his salary last year just to make him happy, but they did not give him a new contract. Courtland was playing ball over the offseason. He showed up for minicamp. He showed up for OTAs, and he did not hold out. Both sides said that they were going to work towards a new deal, but we have not heard any news about a new deal. Zach Allen is incredibly underpaid. He is one of the most productive interior defensive linemen in the NFL, and he's very, very underpaid. Nick Bonitto, going into the final year of his contract, he's going to be looking to be making $30+ million per year. Top pass rushers are making $40 million per year. So there's 3 dudes that all want a new contract. Add a 4th in there, and Jonathan Franklin Meyers. So your 2 4-eyes, that's Zach Allen and that's Jonathan Franklin Meyers. They both want new contracts. And the Broncos are going to have to get to work here really, really quickly if they want to avoid any potential holdouts going into training camp. You're not going to be able to get them all done. There's no chance you're going to be able to sign all 4 of those guys. And you're going to have to make decisions. Sometimes you make decisions based off of priority, meaning who's the most important players to the team. Sometimes you make decisions based off of ease of getting the deal done. So which guy do we think it's going to be the least complicated to get a new contract done with? And the Broncos are now going to have to weigh the pros and the cons of upsetting one of these 4 guys, 2 of these 4 guys, keeping happy 1 or 2 of these 4 guys. I would guess before training camp is done, you will have new contracts done for at least 2 of these 4 players. And then I would guess, just a guess, that 2 of these 4 players is actually going to have to go into the season without a new contract, and they're going to have to earn it. So what would I do, Tyler Polumbus, if I were the GM of the Denver Broncos? Well, I would prioritize this thing. I would say, who are the most important players to my team? All right, Zach Allen, you're number 1. Zach Allen is the best football player of that group. He is absolute dominant at what he does. Okay, so in theory, he would be number 1 on my priority list. Number 2 on that priority list, just in terms of importance to the football team in the future, probably would be Nick Bonitto. However, in my priority list of how I would get these contracts done, I would probably bump Courtland Sutton up above Nick Bonitto simply because I think it's a more likely deal to get done. I think the terms are going to be easier to be agreed upon. The numbers are not as insane as what Nick Bonitto is going to want. And then Jonathan Franklin Meyers, love you. You're a hell of a football player, but you're number 4 on my priority list. And the odds of me getting to you before training camp are done is probably very, very low. So Jonathan Franklin Meyers is probably going into the season without a new deal. And Nick Bonitto might be going into the season without a new deal. Now, why do I say Courtland Sutton would be the easiest to get done. Well, Zach Allen's going to want $25+ million per year. He's number one on my priority list, but it's a lot of money. Courtland Sutton, he's top 15-ish wide receiver in the NFL. Not top 5, not top 10, somewhere in that top 15 range. And top 5 wide receivers, they're making $40 million plus. Well, Courtland, as much as I love him, he's not worthy of $40 million. I think he knows that as much as he would want it. Let me turn on this light here. As much as he would love to have $40 million, he is not worthy of that. So how much is Courtland Sutton worth? I don't know. Somewhere between $20 to $23 million per year. And when you look at that in comparison to what other wide receivers are making, as much money as that sounds like, it actually is a bargain. So Courtland's my number one wide receiver on this team. He's Bo Nix's whoopee. I think Courtland Sutton's deal gets done first of all these 4 guys. I might be wrong. Just my gut feeling, just my hunch. I think the ease of the deal makes that deal the first deal that gets done. And I think Courtland Sutton probably shows up to training camp with a new deal before training camp ever arrives. Zach Allen might have to wait a little bit. He might have to get into training camp, let it roll a little bit, and you might be looking at a holdout situation. I wouldn't be overly concerned with that. Zach Allen's been in this league a long time. He's a veteran. I wouldn't be overly concerned with him missing practices. But he's the only one of that group, to me, that's got the caveat to actually hold out if he wants to. I love Nick Bonitto. And he obviously had a fantastic year last year. But he's had one incredibly explosive season, and he's had one pretty good season. For the going rate of a top pass rusher, which is $40 million right now, I ain't ready to commit that to Nick Bonitto. I'm sorry. I'm just not. If I'm the Broncos, I'm playing that as kindly as I possibly can to Nick Bonitto. Nick, I love you. We want to get a deal done with you, but we can't do it yet. Let's get into the season and see how this thing goes. Now, you run the risk of Nick Bonitto exploding again, and maybe you could sign him for $28, $30 million, and he explodes, and now you got to pay him $37 to $40 million. You always run that risk when you wait. The way I see it, if I'm going to pay $30+ million per year for a dude, I want to be damn sure that he's worth it. And I guess I would rather overpay at that point for somebody that I'm confident has done it in back-to-back seasons than try to get ahead of it now and get a deal done in that $30 million range. It's just so much money. And the difficulty of that deal, he's gonna feel like he's worthy of top 5 pass rusher money right now. And if I'm the Broncos, I'm like, no, not yet. You're not worth it yet. Maybe you are halfway into the season. And now the risk that you run is, number one, you got to overpay him if he does explode. Number two, he could become an unhappy camper and he could say, well, I want to hit free agency. All right. That would suck. But you know what you always got? You always got the franchise tag. And so I would save that situation knowing I've got that franchise tag in the bag. Nick Bonitto would be the one dude that would be worthy of it down the road. And I would say my goal is to get a deal done with him down the road. Hopefully we can. Hopefully you earn it. Hopefully we pay you all the money in the world. But if we can't come to terms on a deal, I know I've got that franchise tag in my back pocket. It pisses off the player, but it's the most effective tool that a team has, and it's why the NFL's got such great parities, because the franchise tag exists for guys like Nick Bonitto who you are a little bit unsure of. So my personal list of how I think this thing gets done, I think we go Courtland Sutton gets that deal done first. Zach Allen, hopefully at some point in training camp. And then Nick Bonitto and Jonathan Franklin Meyers, sorry, boys. You got to go into the season, and we'll figure it out a little bit later. Be curious your guys' thoughts on it. Send it in. Let me know your guys' thoughts, how you guys would prioritize it. That's just my opinion. I certainly don't have any inside information there. I'm not trying to act like I know something. I'm just giving you my opinion on what I would do if I were running the show. Keep in mind, George Payton, his contract is coming up here also. So the Broncos got a decision to make on their GM. I'm sure they'll re-sign him. Him and Sean Payton seem to work very well together. And George has honestly done a lot of really good things. He obviously swung and missed on Russell Wilson. But if you could put that to the side, you look at all the draft picks, he's really knocked it out of the park in his draft picks. So George Payton will be back, I would assume. All right, appreciate you guys joining me. Again, hope you guys had a fantastic holiday weekend. I hope you guys all had, stayed safe. I hope you guys got all 10 digits still from your fireworks. And I'll be back with you guys soon. If you haven't subscribed to Mount Polumbus Speaks, please hit that link in my bio on X or Twitter. Go over to YouTube and hit subscribe. It'll take you 5 seconds. You'll be doing me a solid. You'll do yourself a solid as well. Love you guys. Be back with you guys soon.